Oh, good evening, and welcome to Chlorine Kalaloo. This is a short segment we call Chlorine Champions, and it is sponsored by Visual Eyes. I'd like to thank Visual Eyes for continuing to sponsor this segment. And today, our Chlorine Champion is Jada Chatoor of Marlin Swim Club. She's going off very shortly to Emory University. Hi, Jada.
Hi, how are you?
Well, I'll start with the first question before I introduce you first. You know, when you're going to have a race, right? And everything just seems to go wrong at the start. How you just bounce back from something like that?
Try and think of the positives, the good outcomes that can happen from the bad.
Right. So I'll try to that. We're going to have a very positive interview here. So this is Jada Chatoor, Marlin Swim Club. She's a national record holder, a national swimmer, and in a few days, she'll be going off, leaving us to go to Emory University. Good evening, Jada, and thank you for agreeing to do this.
Thank you for having me.
Jada, so let me start with this. You're from a family of swimmers, right? Your mom, you know, Camille Richards is still on the back of that Maracas open water jersey as the only female. We have your dad was a national swimmer. Your brother was a national swimmer. So, since you're from a family of swimmers, was it in your DNA pressure to pursue swimming?
I don't think there's pressure from them, but I think growing up hearing from my parents' friends and my grandfather and my grandparents how good they were and all that they accomplished, it made me think, I want to be a part of that. I want to achieve that. I want to continue that for them. So that's what really got me into it. And we all started off learning to swim just for survival, you know, how everyone started learning to swim. And then when I reached about age 9, 10, I was like, okay, I think I want to take this seriously and do age group swimming. So.
I know your brother is in university as well, too, following in his footsteps or making your own?
I'm trying to make it on my own, but...
Right. And be honest, I want you to think back a few years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. When you were in the womb, was Camille teaching you how to flip turn?
Rumor has it she was.
I am sure. I'm almost sure. So, Jada, Emory University, but before I go there, how have you managed having no CCCAN and not being able to do your last curve as well? How was that, and how have you been able to bounce back from it?
I think initially when we all found out, we were in peak training, so we were all heartbroken to find out that we're not going to have a last CRIFTA, and CCCAN was still pending by the time we found out. Right. And my mom, she said, just remember, everyone is going through this. So it's not just me, it's not just someone else. Hey, I think everyone in the Caribbean felt that heartbreak. So it helped me take time out and think about how I can improve my swimming on the mental aspect, like working on my confidence and different things that I wouldn't work on physically. And then I think the thing that I missed the most was the friends. Like these meets weren't just about swimming, it was building relationships with people from Central America and the Caribbean. And racing against that was something I always look forward to. So not having that. Last year, this year was pretty hard, but thank God for technology, we can communicate. Yeah.
So what were the main factors which would have influenced you to pursue studies in the US? And you could expand a little bit on why did you choose Emory University?
Yeah. So the plan was always for me to study in the US because I wanted as many opportunities as possible academically and to also continue my sport competitively. In the States, you have a wide variety of classes or majors you can take instead of being restricted to one area of study like law or med. If you do medicine, if you do law, you know, I don't have to pick immediately. And I tend to be an indecisive person. So when I was picking my universities or looking, I did not know what I wanted to do yet. Right. So being able to have options, the United States was the best choice. And my mom, she swam competitively, collegiately, as well as Graham. And when I was talking to them initially, they were like, it's one of the best experiences of your life. You learn so many life lessons. You meet these great people. You build these connections. So I definitely wanted to swim collegiately just to see what it was about and to learn. So I'm very excited. And then with regards to Emory,
Right.
When my parents went to go see Graham in 2019 at the NCAAs, as soon as they came home, the first thing they said was, "You have to look at Emory. It's a great swim team, and it's also a great academic school," which is also important. So I reached out to the coach, Coach John Howell, and he was super welcoming. He answered all my questions. And then he made the decision pretty easy for me to go there. And then also I met some members of the swim team. And from the initial Zoom call, like I was part of the team. You know, we were making jokes, we were laughing. It just felt right. And out of all the schools, Emory just seemed like the perfect. So.
So if you're now joining us, this is Jada Chatoor, national swimmer, national record holder. She's also training for the Junior Pan Am as well.
Yes.
Right. So you watched some of the Olympics 2024? What am I saying? Sorry. Did you watch Olympics 2020? Is he again confused because they have in Tokyo 2020 and 2021?
Yes, yes. Yeah, I was able to watch the Olympics this year.
Right. What would you say is the main lesson you may have learned from Olympics this year?
I think one thing I definitely learned was how important the comeback is in your races, or how strong your second half of your race has to be. It's like these big races, we saw how strong the last 50 was. Like Ariane Titmus against Kate Ledecky in the 50 free, how she was able to just pick it up and go. And then in the 1500 free, the American Bobby Fink was just his last 50, and the 1500 was like a 25-8, which led him to get the gold, which I think is absolutely an insane split. So I think one thing I learned is how important the comeback has to be, or how strong your second leg has to be.
So I better not go too much because I kind of preview in the next segment. So that's it for Olympics. I'm not asking anything about Olympics 2020 again. Because a little spoiler, again, both here on the phone. So Jada is coming up in our next segment a little later on, where she and some other athletes will be reviewing the Olympics. But let's talk about you and Jada. Olympics I know you intimated to me that you would like to go to the Olympics. Are you looking at 2024? And do you already have a plan in place for a future Olympic appearance?
I don't know if there's a plan, but I hope I go to the Olympics. I think it's every athlete's dream to represent your country at the highest level. So I hope to get there. We'll see what happens in the future. But right now, that's one of the goals.
All right. So if you're now joining us, as I said, this is VisualEyes Chlorine Champions. Remember to check out VisualEyes for all your eyewear needs. Jada, I have some quick questions to ask you. Pet event.
800 free.
Who says that? No. 800 free. All right. You look at any race as punishment?
200 breaststroke.
200 breaststroke.
200 breaststroke. I don't think there's no reason for that race to be legal. It's too painful.
Right. Okay. What's your favorite type of mango? If you had to choose between a mango, a Julie mango or a Graham mango?
Julie 100%.
All right. Let me ask you a question. What do you think you would miss most about swimming in Trinidad and Tobago?
I think I've built a strong relationship with so many people here I've been swimming for 13 years, I'd say, like 10 seriously. And I think building relationships with my coaches, Maurice Farry was my first coach. He still is my coach, and Joseph McLeod, and they know me, they know they know how I train, they know when I have hard days. And Marlins has been my home, the only club that I've ever been in. So I think just leaving that environment, it's a little scary. And then going into a completely new one. And then I think going to swim meets and you see everyone you know all the officials, all the other clubs, all the other coaches from the clubs. So I think maybe going to my first meet and not seeing a familiar face might be a little shock, but I'm excited.
And I have one final question for you.
Yes.
I want you to speak to a young female swimmers to give them some encouragement to keep swimming.
I think one thing that they should definitely remember is it's all going to be worth it in the end. All these sacrifices. I know growing up, I had to leave lines early. I wasn't able to go out sometimes. I had training in the morning, or I'd miss all these things with my friends, or I'd have to swim on a Sunday when Sunday's supposed to be a rest day, I'm not to swim on a Sunday morning. But I think looking back now and seeing where I am, I'm going to the school that I've always wanted to go to, and I'm going to be able to continue swimming. And all those sacrifices, they all seem worth it, and they're so small now. Like a few years ago when I was like 15, 14, around there, I would think, oh my gosh, I'm never going to be able to make up for this. This is the end of my social life. Like, I'm done. But it's going to be there. It's always going to be there. And you're still going to be able to have fun. But think about what you really want and how important it is to you. And the sacrifice is always going to be worth it. That's what I think.
Jada Chatoor, I would like to wish you all the best, safe travels this weekend as you go across. I mean, anytime you have put on a red, white, and black tracksuit, you have tried your best to give it your all. And I think you have done you've made a very good effort in representing Trinidad and Tobago and being actually an example to other swimmers and other young ladies. So continue doing what you do and continue repping the red, white, and black.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
No problem.
Okay.
So that was Jada Chatoor, our chlorine champion. Remember, this is a segment sponsored by VisualEyes. Check out VisualEyes at their 3 locations. You can contact them at 662 Eyes. And up next, we have Chillaxin with Cindy.